This episode of Commanders Daily is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy for all of your daily fantasy needs. Huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy for helping us bring the show to you today. So welcome, everyone. I'm Bob Matthews. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. And for Underdog, why don't you go ahead and just scan that QR code up there. You'll be able to get everything going as fast as possible. We are delighted that you are with us. Hope you had a good MLK Day yesterday. The big thing yesterday, the big breaking news that we all woke up to was Sean McDermott out as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, which brings up the question, could he possibly be a candidate for the D.C. job here in D.C.? Now, obviously, that one is a huge long shot because McDermott is no doubt going to have a ton of head coaching opportunities. I mean, you know, when he got to Buffalo, the Bills were a disaster, and he's turned them into one of the most valuable brands in the league. He has, despite what you may think about not being able to get to the Super Bowl, he has done a hell of a job with Josh Allen, MVP last year. He's just, quite frankly, he's probably the most attractive name out there right now amongst the guys that could be head coaches next year. But the other side of that coin is, here he was a defensive guy, and he wasn't able to take that next step. Now, as a defensive coordinator, he was top-notch, D.C. for the Eagles, among other teams, and you got to think he would be awfully, awfully attractive if the Commanders wanted to go that way. But again, he's going to get a lot of looks for head coaching jobs. Now, again, as we, record this, we got no idea what's going on there. The dust has yet to settle on it. But if he doesn't like, a guy that's got his pick of the litter, if he doesn't like the situations out there, there's nothing that says he can't say, you know what, let me take a step back for a year, let me be a DC again, and then the next round of coaching hires, go out and get something then. He'll have the chance to do that if he wants to. The question is just, does he want to? Odds are he's going to wind up with one of the head coaching openings that they've got right now. But it's worth at least keeping your eye on. Keep that in the back of your mind. McDermott to D.C. would be absolutely huge. But again, like Brian Flores in Minnesota, probably going to get more looks as for a head coaching job. Divisional playoffs are in the books, and man, I tell you what, those were some really, really good games. That Caleb Williams throw on fourth down at the end of regulation was insane. But despite this golden age of quarterbacks that we're in now, I think it's more than a little ironic that when you look at, who's left amongst the final four, you've got one of the quarterbacks from the draft class last year. And in the NFC, you've got two guys who have been around the block, one a Super Bowl winner and the other a veteran. So, yeah, I think there is a ton of talent, obviously, for the 2024 quarterback class. Thank God one of those guys is here in D.C. But as you can see, the postseason, there's definitely a learning curve there. And it's very interesting, I think, and very telling to see that, of the four quarterbacks, two of them are veterans. One of them is from the 24 class, and then, of course, a backup, although one of the class 24 quarterbacks did for sure get the Broncos to the AFC Championship game in Bo Nix. And Bo Nix obviously would be playing against Drake May had he not broken his ankle on the second to last play of the game. That one, a really, really lousy break for him. Nevertheless, I think that the conference championship games are going to be great this Sunday. Early on here, I'm leaning L.A. and New England. I know that the last thing the league wants is Denver and Seattle, I don't think. They want the quarterbacks, and they want the marquee matchup with the quarterbacks. So I'm sure the league is rooting for an L.A. New England Super Bowl. All right. Got to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. The playoffs obviously are in full swing. It is Championship Sunday coming up, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the gridiron action. And playing Underdog is easy. All you do is pick your favorite players to decide whether they're going to go higher or lower on the stat sheet. That's it. And when I say stats, I mean stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receiving yards, passing yards, any of that stuff. All you got to do is just scan that QR code there in the corner. Download the Underdog app and type in the promo code FootballFan. Again, that's FootballFan. You'll get $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, you do that with the promo code FootballFan. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
See assets.underdogfantasy.com/playing. Get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 hotline at 1-878 or text Commys 467-369.
All right. Let's go ahead and hit the mailbag, shall we? Again, love all of the comments. You remember yesterday we were talking about possible trade and possible trade candidates and possible cut candidates. Shout out to Dan Miller, 6462. Dan, thank you as always for tuning in. He agrees, says trade Deron Payne for a second round. If Bain, Bailey, or Downs are still available at 7, take any of them. Best available. If not, then trade down for more picks. I just wonder if they can get a second-round pick for Payne. I mean, he's had 2 contracts already coming up on, what I think he's, 29 this year, 28, 29. A second might be a little bit of a stretch. But, if they can get a third for him, that still opens up a lot more possibilities than they would have had if not, especially if it's an early third-round pick. But I like your thinking on Bain, Bailey, and Downs as well. And, hey, if they can find somebody that'll give them a second round for Payne, man, I would consider that a huge, huge win. All right, that's going to do it for us. We got to get on out of here. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to download the Underdog app as well. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Remember, like the wise man once said, if you're on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.